Welcome to HDTV. You're now rocking with your boy. Had to show the teeth on you knuckles. All right. So now, Celtics Brad Stevens leaves coaching to replace retiring Danny Ainge as head of basketball operations. The Boston Celtics are wasting no time making moves in the front office following a first round playoff exit at the hands of the Brooklyn Nets Tuesday evening. The Celtics announced Wednesday morning that head coach Brad Stevens is transitioning from his head coaching position to becoming the franchise's new head of basketball operations, replacing longtime president Danny Ainge, who is stepping down from his role. Stevens will lead the search for Boston's new head coach. Oh, man. Sorry about that, y'all. To becoming a new head of basketball, replacing longtime president Danny Ainge, who's stepping down from his role. Stevens will lead the search for Boston's new head coach. Helping guide this organization has been the thrill of a lifetime, and having worked side by side with him since he's been here, I know we couldn't be in better hands than with Brad guiding the team going forward. Ainge said in a press release, "I'm grateful to ownership, all of my Celtic colleagues, and the best fans in basketball for being part of the journey." Stevens has reportedly been worn down as a coach per ESPN's Adrian Wojnarowski, especially since the Orlando bubble, which certainly took a mental and emotional toll on everyone involved in trying to pull that off as safely as possible. Ainge was reportedly mulling his future with the franchise for several months, per ESPN's Tim Bontemps, and was discussing with ownership who would take over in his role if he were to leave. So it sounds as though the stars aligned for both Ainge and Stevens, who were both looking to move their careers in different directions. "I'm grateful to ownership and to Danny for trusting me with this opportunity," Stevens said. "I'm excited to tackle this new role, starting with the wide-ranging and comprehensive search for our next head coach. I love the Celtics and know the great honor and responsibility that comes with this job. I will give it everything I have to help us be in position to consistently compete for championships." Stevens will finish his coaching tenure with the Celtics with the 354 282 record, including 3 trips to the Eastern Conference Finals in the last 4 years and making the postseason in all but 1 year in charge. He's been heralded for his coaching tactics, his use of advanced analytics, and ability to communicate those advanced metrics to players and implement them in games. Those tools will certainly come in handy in his new role in the front office, as he will now be tasked with assessing potential talent for the Celtics to sign in free agency, through trades, and in the NBA draft. For Ainge, now that this time with Boston has come to an end, there's a potential for him to land in a front office role with the Utah Jazz, per Sports Illustrated's Chris Mannix. The Jazz are under new ownership as of last October, after the Miller family, who owned the team since the 1980s, sold their majority stake in the franchise to Qualtrics founder Ryan Smith. Ainge has been in the front office of the Celtics organization since 2003 and was instrumental in helping build the 2008 championship team by trading for Kevin Garnett and Ray Allen to pair with Paul Pierce after that Boston core aged out. Ainge then traded Garnett and Pierce to the Brooklyn Nets for a haul of players and picks that would eventually turn into the current group of young stars centered around all-stars Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. That same summer that Ainge stockpiled picks for Boston's future was also the year he brought in Stevens as head coach after a storied collegiate coaching career. Danny has made all the difference over the past 18 years. Our record of winning percentage and playoff victories is near the top of the league during that time. He has always been a relentless competitor and a winner. Red Auerbach told us Danny is lucky, and he was right, but a lot of the luck came from his intense drive and his incredible basketball insights. Celtics co-owner Wick Grousbeck said turning to Brad is a natural next step since we have built a partnership over the past 8 years, and he is a special basketball mind. We want him to lead us into the next great era of Celtics basketball. Boston will enter the upcoming offseason with some looming questions, on top of now trying to find a new coach, which could reportedly include looking at current Lakers assistant Jason Kidd and former Hawks coach Lloyd Pierce, per Yahoo Sports Chris Haynes. So, what do I think of this? That's why I told y'all on my next application, I am putting white. I am putting white. I am a white American. And I'm going to have the voice as well, because it seems like a white guy who underperforms will still have an ability to upgrade a job. While if a black coach would have did the same thing, he would have been fired and thrown to the wolves and said he cannot coach in the big games or get his team over the hump. I've been telling you guys for years. Everything that all these content creators talk about, all these other people talk about, I've told you for years. This is nothing but systematic racism. And in sports, I did a video talking about the executives that are black. It's less than 10% compared to whites, which is over 30%, maybe 40%. So it's like, look, I'm not trying to push this racism narrative, because I have people who tell me all the time, man, it ain't about race all the time. It is about race. How Brad Stevens, who has underperformed each year, even though he got to the Eastern Conference Finals, to me, he benefited from lack of competition. It really wasn't that many great teams in the East. So to me, you just had to worry about the Sixers and the Milwaukee Bucks, who usually choke. And then you had LeBron during those years. So it's like, come on. You had a team, you basically couldn't control your locker room. So to me, he wasn't a great coach. He was a good X's and O's guys, but without that talent with Tatum and Rozier and them, Isaiah Thomas and all of them, Jaylen Brown, those guys that Danny Ainge was able to bring in, Brad Stevens wouldn't have been as good. To me, he's a college coach. He's limited. He only knows certain stuff. And this is a great thing. Move him out. But what is he going to do? Now, him becoming the president, that would be good, because in college, he had to be a president. He had to go recruit players. So he could do the same thing. He could bring the talent in. But as far as coaching, this team needs a coach like a Jason Kidd. Jason Kidd would turn this team into something. He would be more mentally able to get to Kemba Walker. He'll start letting Kemba turn into more of a passer than a scorer, because they got Kemba for 2 more years. Or they might look to trade him. We don't know. They might trade him. We don't know what's going to happen. But Brad Stevens, to me, would probably be better at that than he is coaching. Now, granted, they had a lot of injuries this year, so I don't put all that on Brad Stevens. I just feel like if he was a black coach, he would have been fired. He would not have been promoted. He would have been fired. They didn't care if it would have been injuries. So I'm upset with this move, because to me, it just shows the bigotry in the NBA, where you guys love to go at the NFL. The NFL is blatant racism. NBA is more of a systematic, where they'll smile in your face, but behind closed doors, they're racist. And this shows it. Why didn't you even try to interview a black executive? See, they don't care no more. They don't care. And that's why I try to tell you people, stop trying to paint this narrative that you guys care about black people, and you freaking don't. Y'all don't care about black people. Y'all only care if we entertain you. If we're not entertaining for you, you have no business or nothing you want to do with us. And that's the facts. This is a travesty. I'm very upset at the NBA again, but I expect this, so I'm not surprised. I just wish you fans and you idiot people out here, especially my fellow black man, stop being idiots and thinking that these people are going to see our best interests and that they're going to try to help us get better when they're not. Their whole point is to keep us down on our necks, keep their foot on our neck, take from us, keep overtaxing us, keep raising the prices, and continuously using us. While these NBA players who they're putting all this money in because they want you as the person, as the black man, to know the only way you can make it in America is if you got a wicked jump shot, or your ass can rap or be an entertainer. That's it. They don't want you to be a doctor or engineer, none of these things. And that's the facts. But this goes to show you that when it's white, it's right. When it's black, it's wrong. So congratulations, Boston Celtics. You have proven the point of Kyrie Irving and Boogie Cousins, Marcus Smart, Tristan Thompson, all of these blacks who have experienced that being in that bullshit ass arena. Okay? So now the Celtics, will he be able to do something? Yeah, because Brad Stevens he had to recruit talent in college. So this isn't nothing new. So what he's gonna do is he's gonna bring some players in. He's going to build around Tatum and Brown. And to me, he'll be more personable with the players because he was a college coach, so he'll know how to talk to different players. Because to me, as a coach, it wasn't working. But since he choked this year, hey, they were like, hey, well, we'll just move you up. We'll let Danny go. Now, Danny Ainge, and see what they're doing? Danny Ainge now could go land in Utah. You see how they look after their own? And this is why I'm pissed off at those players for putting money into that group, into that area, which is just going to produce nothing but rich black folks and Latinos. We need the lower class and middle class blacks and Latinos to be helped out. That's who needs the education. That's who needs the trades. That's who needs the funding to help them stay afloat. That's what I'm saying. And then you NBA players, y'all are so fake. Y'all don't even call that bullshit out. Y'all will let a black coach like Dwayne Casey, who won Coach of the Year, get fired. But this bum guy right here, Brad Stevens, he could just elevate after having a bad year. And then you got Nick Nurse, who had a bad year. He should have been fired. But if that was Dwayne Casey, you would have did the same thing. But y'all going to be like, well, he won a championship. No, Kawhi won the championship. Because before he got there, y'all ain't win shit at all. So this just goes to show you the lack of color that's in higher places, and they're able to recycle jobs and recycle white guys in exec positions and coaching positions. They always have a job for them when they leave the game, but hey, we can't get that luxury. So like I said, this is bullshit. Fuck Boston, fuck the Boston Celtics, and fuck Brad Stevens and that whole organization. Thank you for listening. I'm out. Deezy.